Welcome to Lumenergy's NetLight installation guide. Lumenergy leads the lighting industry in network-controlled lighting systems. Lumenergy is reducing lighting energy use by up to 70% in commercial, industrial, retail, and public buildings. This video will explain how to install Lumenergy's key system components. Here we see the components Lumenergy provides for a complete solution. The key components are the NetLight controller, NetLight Controller Max, ballasts, otherwise known as drivers, sensors, the NetLight Scene Controller, and the NetLight Executive Software. Lumenergy requires that installers follow local, state, and national safety codes. This guide stresses safety considerations pertaining, but not limited to, the Building Standards Commission, UL requirements, low voltage codes and the use of plenum rated products, and the National Electrical Safety Code. Lumenergy provides two lighting control units, the NetLight Controller Max for larger scale installations, and the NetLight Controller for smaller scale installations. To mount the NetLight Controller Max and power supply, use number 8 round head machine screws to secure the units to the wall using the bolt patterns located on the back. To set up the power supply, remove one of the punch outs in the lower right hand side of the unit and hardwire a power line to the capped wires inside. Wiring must be in compliance with Article 300 of the National Electrical Code. To power on the NetLight Controller Max, first ensure the power supply switch is set to off. Connect the power adapter from the power supply to the controller, flip the power switch up, and verify the controller powers on. To mount the NetLight controller, use appropriate size bolts to secure the unit using the top and bottom mounting plates. To provide power to the NetLight controller, first you must remove one of the 3 punch outs located underneath the unit and also detach the lower front plate by unscrewing the bolts. Next, run a power line through the punch out and hardwire the line, neutral, and ground wires to the capped wires inside. Reattach the lower front plate and hardwire the power line into a nearby power outlet. LED indicators will show the controller has power. To install a dolly loop, the cables should be daisy chained using the interconnect box ports labeled dolly in and out. All ballast and sensors connect to the dolly loop through these interconnect boxes as seen in the example. To install a dolly loop, first connect the dolly cable into the controller's next available dolly port. In this instance, we're starting at the dolly port number 1. The opposite end of the dolly cable should connect into the dolly in port of the first interconnect box. All dip switches should be set to block. Build out the dolly loop by connecting one interconnect box to the next using the provided dolly cables from the dolly out port to the next dolly in port. Repeat this step until reaching the end of your loop. Keep in mind, each loop can only support up to 64 dolly devices. Lumenergy recommends attaching no more than 54 dolly devices per loop for future expansion purposes. Lumenergy's ballast connect to the dolly loop by using the provided ballast dolly cable. The ballast dolly cable connects from the ballast RJ11 connector to the interconnect box's RJ11 connectors. Line and neutral provide power to the ballast. All of Lumenergy's ballast come with 6 stickers providing the dolly address of that ballast. Place one of these stickers on the reflected ceiling plan where the ballast is installed. The lighting system works with 2 forms of direct plug-in sensors, an occupancy sensor and a photo sensor. The occupancy sensor is designed to sense when occupants are present, and the photo sensor is designed for daylight harvesting. Direct plug-in sensors connect into the corresponding sensor ports on the interconnect box. Photosensors are ceiling mounted. The sensor connects into the interconnect box photosensor port and requires dip switch number 3 to be set to share. The ceiling plan may not display the best physical location of the sensor. In some cases, designers simply place the sensor in a general location on the plan and put a descriptive note in the legend indicating placement should be decided during installation. Occupancy sensors may be ceiling or fixture mounted. The ceiling plan may not display the best physical location of the sensor. A sensor comes programmed with a default time delay. Ensure you reset this to the minimum time by following the instructions of the sensor. All dip switches should be set to block. To install a NetLight switch, connect the provided cable from the bottom RJ45 port on the back of the switch to one of the interconnect box ballast ports. The switch receives power from the dolly loop and will be programmed during the commissioning phase of installation. In the event that more than one ballast share the same dolly address on a single loop, otherwise known as duplicates, install them near each other for easy correction during commissioning. In the example shown here, 4 ballast address 20 on loop 1 are installed in adjacent offices for ease of commissioning. It is best to assign teams to tackle particular tasks they have worked on before, in which case you would have one team of installers install the dolly loops, while the other set of installers mount the fixtures and plug them into the interconnect boxes. This allows for a more efficient installation. While installing the fixtures in the ceiling, write down the dolly loop number and address of the fixture on the reflected ceiling plan to inform the commissioning agent of the correct address location. Once completed, provide this document to Lumenergy's assigned commissioning agent. Thank you for watching. We hope this briefing has been informative to you and your team. You should now understand 1. How to install Lumenergy's lighting system, and 2. The importance of providing the dolly loop number and dolly short address of each installed fixture to Lumenergy's assigned commissioning agent. For further assistance, dial 1-855-819-8800.